Now let's talk about a team that I believe needs a little more of a review. Their fan base needs a little bit of a reality check. They need to put under the microscope just a little bit more, and that's the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs may be the worst 12-1 team in NFL history. And I'm not just saying that to rage bait people. When you dig into the numbers, you start seeing, that little bit of false gold, fool's gold, okay? You do see it. They remind me, who remembers this team? We don't have to go too far back. Who remembers the 2022 Minnesota Vikings? I do. I remember as clear as day. The Minnesota Vikings and the Chiefs have some similarities, and I see that with the Chiefs. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. The Chiefs have a better head coach, and they have a better quarterback than that 2022 Vikings team. But let's go into a little more depth comparing those two teams together. Okay? The Minnesota Vikings in 2022, they won 11 of the 13 games by 7 points within one score. Okay? The Vikings also had a negative point differential. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs don't have a negative point differential, but they have the worst point differential for any 12-1 team in the history of the NFL. That's not looking too good there. The Vikings weapons were better than the current now Vikings weapons. I will take the 2022 Vikings weapons over the Chiefs 2024 team weapons. The Vikings had Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook, and TJ Hockenson, and Kirk Cousins when Kirk Cousins was doing pretty good. The Kansas City Chiefs, the 2024 Chiefs, they have Hopkins and Kelsey. Don't tell me, I don't want nobody saying that they are better than any of those two. Kelsey has lost a step. Is he arguably one of the greatest tight ends or the greatest tight end who ever played the game? Yes, but nobody can't argue that he has lost a step. And he needs to stop doing damn commercials, him and his brother everywhere. And Hopkins, he's good, but he has lost a step. He's no longer the Hopkins we remember from the Arizona Cardinals, okay? You got to admit these guys lost steps. Are they better than average? Yes. But give me Justin Jefferson over any of those two guys. Give me 2022 TJ Hockenson over 2024 Travis Kelce. That's a fact, okay? Hockenson has not lost a step. This is before he got that injury, by the way, okay? And there's an argument for the running backs, Pacheco or Dalvin Cook, but Pacheco, he's been hurt the whole year, so I'll take Dalvin Cook, okay? So I don't want to hear that the current Kansas City Chiefs has better weapons than the 2022 Vikings team. Do the Chiefs have the better quarterback and head coach? Yes, they do, okay? And they had the better defense, the Chiefs too. So I'll give you guys that. You have the defense. But let's go a little bit more into numbers, okay? Like I said, they won 11 of the Vikings, the 2022 Vikings, won 11 of their 13 games within one score, okay? Now let's talk about the Chiefs. The Chiefs, like I said, have the worst point differential from any 12-1 team in the history of the NFL. And so far, the 2024 season, the Chiefs have won 7 of their 12 wins by 6 points or less. And they've won 10 of their 12 games by 7 points or less. Do you see what I'm getting here? There's not that big of a difference here and the teams here when it comes to winning the games. And so they're not blowing the competition away, the Chiefs, just like the Vikings were not blowing the competition away in 2022. In my opinion, the Chiefs only have one good win underneath their belt. Now, Chiefs fans, calm down. Calm down, Chiefs fans. I know what you're saying. We beat the Chargers. We beat the Buccaneers. We beat the Broncos. We beat the Falcons. What are you talking about? Well, let's break down those teams. Now, I, for one, am not a Chargers rider. I've been saying it several weeks. The Chargers are about 2 years away. That offense for the Chargers is pitiful, okay? And they're even worse now since J.K. Dobbins is out. What happened in the last game you guys played the Chargers? You needed a game-winning field goal that hit an upright to beat the Chargers. And the Chargers have no running game anymore now that Dobbins is out. Justin Herbert has to do wonders, and he has to hope Quinn Johnson hangs on to the ball. So you're really impressed by that win? I wouldn't. Then let's talk about the Buccaneers. Let's talk about the Buccaneers. You beat the Buccaneers. Buccaneers were without Mike Evans and Godwin. They're two best wide receivers and arguably one of the best duo wide receivers in the league. And they were having a great year again this year. Baker Mayfield is having a great year himself. Who did Mayfield have to throw to? Cade Otton? Yeah, he's a good tight end, but that's it. So, do you think that win is impressive? The Buccaneers defense also is like Swiss cheese. Anybody could throw on that defense. So again, do you like that Buccaneers win? Do you think it's impressive? Let's talk about the Falcons. How do they look like? How do the Falcons look now? They have a losing record. They are the worst team at getting after the quarterback, bar none. They're the worst team get after the quarterback. So do you think that's an impressive win? Kirk Cousins has almost as many interceptions as he has touchdowns this year. He's showing his age. He is average now. Okay. So you tell me, do you think that's a great win against the Falcons? Oh, I forgot to mention, you had to take the Buccaneers to win in overtime, and the Buccaneers, again, that have their offensive weapons were mostly depleted, and you had to win in overtime. So do you think that's an impressive win? Let's talk about the Broncos. The Broncos, you needed a block, a field goal to win that game. And the Broncos, if you look at their schedule, they have maybe one, maybe two good wins underneath their belt. They have another putrid offense. They have no run game whatsoever. All they have is Bo Nix's legs and to throw to Sutton. That's it. Their defense is everything for that team. But you needed a block, a field goal to win that game. Do you think that's an impressive win? I don't think so. I've never been on the Denver Broncos or Chargers this year. I've been telling people they're a year to 2 years away from being actual real contenders in the NFL. So right now, I don't think those are impressive wins. The Buccaneers, not impressive. Atlanta Falcons, not impressive. The best win is against the Ravens. That's the best wins. And we all know the Ravens have the worst secondary in the NFL. What happened when you played against a team that's a high-powered offense, okay, that has an actual legit defense and that it could protect their quarterback? Now, the Bills, who you lost to, have the run game. The run defense, I should say, is not so great. They're about ranked 20th in the league, so not the worst, but definitely not the best. Okay, but secondary is good. They protect Josh Allen really well. What happened? They put 30 points on you guys. You guys lose the game by 8 or 9 points. See, you played against a real good contender and you lose the game. But you guys are bragging about those wins. The Chargers, Broncos, and Buccaneers and Falcons, I wouldn't be bragging about that. Those teams are going nowhere. Even if those teams make the playoffs, which 2 or 3 are, they're going to be one and done. Broncos, Chargers, and Buccaneers, they're going to lose their games in the playoffs the first game they have. You heard it here. Mark my words. So, Chiefs fans, you shouldn't be impressed by those wins whatsoever. Okay? So, really sit down and ask yourself, okay? Don't get nostalgic. Take the previous years out of it, okay? That you guys won those Super Bowls. We're talking about now. We're talking about a slower Travis Kelce, a slower Hopkins, okay? You guys are a mess at left tackle, and you don't have your best corner in Snead anymore, okay? No matter what you say, I know he's injured on the Titans. He's still a good corner. Go watch all the real NFL analysts, guys who are ex-players. They know that he's still a great corner. So you guys don't have him anymore. Your defense is not as great as it was the previous years. Now, your defense is better than the 2022 Minnesota Vikings. I'll give you that. But there's some similarities here, okay? So I'm just letting you Chiefs know that you need a bit of reality check, because this 12-1 Kansas City Chiefs team, I wouldn't be surprised that in their first matchup in the playoffs, they lose. You heard it here first. Don't be surprised when the Kansas City Chiefs go into playoffs in the first matchup, they lose outright. Because this team, they're just skidding on thin ice for too long, and I think it's going to catch up to them. They're going to fall right through that ice.